Have you got any of these in your pantry? Roasted red peppers can be used straight from the jar. When you're short on time, make use of your pantry with my roasted red pepper pasta and my quick weeknight coconut curry. I'm Chef Heidi Fink, and that's what we're cooking on the coast. Welcome to the kitchen. Today we are shopping from the pantry. I'm going to show you two different relatively quick dinners you can make with stuff you probably already have in your pantry. The first thing I'm going to show you is how to make a quick but super delicious coconut curry sauce, and then I'm going to show you how to make an absolutely fantastic roasted red pepper pasta sauce. Let's get started. So first, the coconut curry sauce. You know I love Thai food, so let me show you some of the tricks I use to make Thai food taste amazing. First of all, we're going to talk about lemongrass. Once again, you know how much I love lemongrass. So I'm gonna show you again how to do it, even though you might have seen me do this in a previous episode. We're gonna cut the root end off, and then we're gonna use what's called the belly of the lemongrass right here. So just the fat part, and when it starts to taper off and get kind of green, we don't need that part, except for smells, because it smells so good. Then we're gonna cut this in half lengthwise. And if there's any kind of outer leaves that don't look good, you can get rid of those as well. And then you want to get rid of this core that's in here, so you just push on it with the back of your hand or your thumb and just pull that right out. And then we're going to mince this up pretty finely. And I'm gonna add this to the curry paste. So the most important thing about this recipe is how to cook the curry paste to really bring out its full flavor. And you can do this even if you just have curry paste and that's it. I'm adding a few extra aromatic ingredients to it to really bump up the flavor. So I've already got the curry paste in this little bowl, and to this I've added 2 cloves of minced garlic, which a lot of people already have in their pantry, so you could just stop there, just add the garlic, or not even use the garlic. And then the other thing I have in here is something called galangal. And if you watched me last season, you know I talked about this. It is a rhizome in the ginger family. It's very aromatic, very delicious. I just love this. Oh, it smells exactly like a Thai restaurant. Okay, I'm just gonna turn on this pan. And you want it to be about medium-high. So I'm gonna put a little bit of oil in this pan. Any kind of oil that you wanna use. I'm using avocado oil. And then I'm also gonna use some of the coconut milk as well. So I have this really nice coconut milk that is very thick and solid, so that's what you want. And you're gonna melt that. So we're gonna use this as part of our frying medium. So you don't want to use the whole can, just part of it. So we're gonna get that melting. Once it's nicely melted, we're gonna add our curry paste and all of our aromatics. So we've got this combination of oil and coconut milk, and we're gonna fry or saute these aromatics. The curry paste, the lemongrass, the galangal, and the garlic. I'm gonna also add a little bit of water to this pan. All right. So now we're gonna, this is the most important, this is the only thing you really need to know, is that we're simmering this until the oil splits and pools on the surface. So what I like to do is I like to watch, I like that oil separation on the top. That's a sign the oil is at the perfect temperature to really release the flavors and essential oils from the aromatics. But you can, yeah, you can see it really well now, this red oil that's separating. The whole room smells like curry, it's amazing. Then I'm just gonna add a little bit water to that to kind of cool it down, because you don't want, when you add the rest of the coconut milk, you don't want it to start separating right away. So I'm adding the whole rest of the can of the coconut milk. Now sometimes I only add the thick milk. It kind of depends on what kind of protein I'm gonna be using. But most of the time I add the whole rest of the can. And if you have a good can, probably like 2/3 of it at least will be the thick stuff. And what you're gonna do is just turn that down to medium low, and then you want the coconut milk here to melt. Now, once it's kind of melted and simmering, I'm gonna add fish sauce to this. However, if you don't like fish sauce or can't find it, then you could use a bit of salt. I would not use soy sauce. So, you know, maybe a 1/4 teaspoon to 1/2 teaspoon of salt. I'm gonna use a couple tablespoons of fish sauce to this. So fish sauce is a fermented fish sauce, basically. It's quite salty. And then the other thing I often add is just a little bit of brown sugar, just to bring up the sweetness a bit. And you could leave this out or change the amount. You can make it a bit sweeter or not so sweet. And the other thing that I did find at the grocery store, which I was very, very happy about, are these lime leaves. They smell just like a Thai restaurant when you put them in the food. And you just want to rough chop them. Put a couple leaves in. And we'll just rough chop that and throw that in. So I'm gonna bring that to a simmer. And then once it's simmered for a couple minutes, so all the flavors have had a chance to meld, then I'm gonna add whatever protein I feel like adding to this. So please stick around. We've got lots more cooking to do, but first we're on the road.
Cooking on the Road is brought to you by Whisk Victoria, the small but mighty kitchen gadget store for every home chef.
Super excited to be here with Suki Wu, the daughter of the owners of Sookjai Thai in downtown Victoria. She's going to tell us all about the business, your amazing Thai food, and some of the new ventures you've got going. Thanks so much for having me.
Thank you so much for coming, Heidi. My family immigrated here from China 2012, and my dad's always been in restaurants industry. 2013, he discovered this restaurant was up for sale, and he had interest in Thai food long before he moved to Canada, and he had experience in that as well. So he decided to take over the restaurant and start cooking.
So your dad is in charge of the fry station? That's his thing. He does the woks of stir fries?
Exactly. He does all the stir fries. So like from pad thai, fried rice, chicken protein, and we got a variety of like gluten-free and vegan dishes.
Oh, amazing.
My mom made all the sauces here.
Okay.
So all the curry sauces, green and red, and peanut sauce. Also the black beans and chilies. You can put a dash of it in stir fry, or you can just like put it on your plain white rice and
just put it on a spoon in your mouth.
Exactly. Basically. It's good. It's that good.
So I see that you've started bottling and selling some of these sauces and some takeout containers. Can you tell us about this new venture of yours?
That's correct. We started doing more affordable meals where we pre-package like lunch-size meals. Like where a section is rice and a section is like a stir fry or a curry.
So you sell them here and in grocery stores as well?
That's right.
Oh, that's amazing. So I've heard there's something happening in the kitchen. I'm gonna participate in some cooking.
My mom is gonna walk you through how to do the curry sauce. And how to make a curry.
Okay, awesome. I'm very excited. I'm here in the kitchen with Suki's mom, Kyuta, and she's going to show me how to use this curry sauce that you can take home. She's going to show me how you cook with it. All right, so what do I do first?
Use the pot and 2 ladles the sauce.
2 ladles of sauce, okay. And that's 16 ounces, you said?
That's 16 ounces.
Okay, chicken.
And mix them.
Mix it. I love this. I love being bossed around in the kitchen. And I'm putting in bamboo shoots, peppers, and anything else?
Thai basil.
Oh, it looks good. Smells so good. I love that smell. Oh, beautiful. Oh, it looks amazing. I can't wait to try it. Oh, this looks amazing. It smells amazing. I'm so excited. I can't wait to try. What have we got here?
Okay, what you see here is our restaurant's all-time favorite. We had our famous chicken pad thai, and Heidi helped us make the curry.
Yes,
right?
I did. Yes.
And we have crispy pork, where it's like mountains of meat, and famous coconut rice, and of course our garlic prawns, and peanut sauce beef.
So can I just like dig in?
Dig in, and whatever you like.
I gotta try a little bit of everything. Oh yeah. Oh, you can really taste that fresh tamarind.
Exactly.
Oh, that's amazing.
You did a good job on the curry.
Someone else did most of the work. That's good. Garlic prawns.
Can't leave behind the pork.
Oh, that's right. Okay, let me try one. Wow, this has been such a great experience. Thank you so much. Everything is delicious. I learned so much. Thank you so much for having us.
Thank you so much for your time as well to come and check our restaurant out.
Oh,
appreciate it. Thank
absolutely.
you.
My pleasure. Welcome back. Look at what I did with that coconut curry sauce. Super great. I made half of it with chicken and peppers and the other half with tofu, spinach, and a few vegetables. So you can do whatever you want with it. Super great. Both are super delicious. We're gonna set these aside and now we're gonna work on my pantry pasta. All right, for this pasta, what we're gonna use is some jarred bell peppers and some tomato passata, two of my favorite must-have pantry ingredients, and obviously pasta, because most of us also have pasta in our pantry at all times. And I'm gonna start by sauteing some really roughly cut onions and some peeled garlic in a little bit of olive oil. And you don't need to make this a really small chop. It doesn't need to be minced because we're going to be pureeing it. So I've got the olive oils nicely heated up. Oh, and that was dramatic. Now we're gonna throw in our garlic. So you can see I've just cut the garlic in half, so it's about the same size as the onions. Just gonna have that on medium-high heat. So I've got some of these roasted peppers that I've chopped up, usually 2 whole peppers from the jar, so about a cup. I'm gonna add 3/4 of a cup of this pureed tomato, as well as 3/4 of a cup of water. So I've got 3/4 of a cup of water, and I'm gonna add 3/4 of a cup of this tomato. Now I really like this particular type of tomato. It can keep in your fridge for a couple of weeks. Now I'm gonna saute this just for a couple of minutes. All right, let's chop up some rosemary. Now you can use whatever herbs you want. I'm gonna use this rosemary when I add the beans to this dish. So this is a totally vegetarian pasta. It uses canned beans, so we're gonna be sauteing some canned beans with some chopped fresh rosemary. And if you wanted to add some kind of animal protein to it, you totally could. One of my go-tos would be some Italian sausage, either cut up right into the sauce or just roasted in the oven on the side. So now these onions and garlic are ready to go. So they've just gotten a little bit translucent, a little bit softened, picked up a little bit of color. Now we're gonna add that directly to this. And before I puree this, I'm going to start sauteing the rosemary so that it's ready for our beans. Now normally I use white beans for this recipe, but today I got some Romano beans because that's all they had at the store, and which is great for a pantry episode because it's all about what you can use, what you already have. So we're gonna saute this rosemary in some more olive oil until it's really fragrant. And we're gonna add some beans. So you can use a whole can or just part of a can, whatever you want. And you wanna stir that around. We're gonna add a little bit of salt and pepper to that. Got some really nice Vancouver Island sea salt here. And I'm gonna add a little bit of salt and pepper also to this, which I'm gonna puree. The other thing you can add to this, if you have it, you can add some fresh herbs. Like I have some fresh basil you can add, or some parsley. Okay, so I've got my handy dandy immersion blender. You could just use a regular blender. All right, that looks great. And hang on. And then we are going to pour this into our rosemary white beans, okay? You ready? I have this turned down to medium-low, okay, so that it's not gonna splatter up in your face. That's very important. And then we're gonna simmer this for a few minutes just to help the flavors meld and for the sauce to thicken up. And I am now going to drain my pasta, but I first need to grab some oven mitts. One thing you always wanna do with pasta is you wanna just save some of the pasta water because you might need it to thin out your sauce later, and pasta water is always a good source of a little bit of starch and flavor. Okay, so here we go. pasta. I love pasta. It's such a good, easy go-to meal. So we want to simmer this just to build the flavors just a little bit more. And then you want to think about what kind of toppings. Do you want to put some cheese on this? I really, really like to put some freshly grated Parmesan on there, Parmigiano Reggiano. So I'm going to get some from the fridge. I'm just going to move these out of the way. Okay, I'm going to the fridge. I'm going to grab my Parmesan. Hope I can find it. There we go. So I'm going to use this opportunity while this has to simmer for just a couple of minutes to grate this cheese, and then we're going to be ready to plate both of our meals. So the thing that's pretty cool is you got to see me make this almost in real time, and it doesn't take very much time at all. I have the grater backwards. I'm going to do it this way. There we go. It doesn't take very much time. So notice I'm using my microplane for this. You could use obviously any grater you have, but you see what short work that makes. You get really nice fluffy cheese really easily off the bat. So I love that for grating Parmesan. And you could do as little or as much as you like. So you can see similar to the curry sauce, what's happening here is you'll start to see the oil separating a little bit, and that's a sign that it's starting to simmer and the flavors are gonna blend. So if I was at home, I would probably cook this another 5 or 10 minutes. But we are just gonna add the pasta to this right now. And we're gonna mix that together. And if it needs to be thinned out a little bit, I'm gonna add some of the pasta water. That will also sometimes help the sauce to cling a little bit better. Okay, so I'm gonna add just a little bit of that. And we're gonna stir that up. I'm gonna just get this right out of the way. And you could also add some green vegetables to this, like if you have a bag of spinach in the fridge, you could just add a handful of spinach. You know, your big kitchen sink or pantry raid pasta. And I'm gonna pour some in there. So there's a nice mixture of sauce and noodles and beans. And then I kind of like to drizzle just a little bit of olive oil on that. This is optional, but you know, a little bit of extra fresh olive oil always gives a nice fresh taste. And then we're gonna sprinkle some Parmesan on there. And then if you wanna make it look extra fancy and you happen to have some, you could just put a fresh sprig of basil on there, right there. So there's the pasta. Now I'm going to move this pile of cheese over, and then I'm going to grab the curry. So I did cook some rice earlier. So we're gonna have this nice jasmine rice. I'll just move that over here. And then I'm gonna just plate up the one of the curries. So a little bit of rice in the bowl. Often I serve actually rice in a separate bowl from the curry. But for a weeknight dinner, it's easier to do it this way. Okay, I'm gonna go get one of the curries. I think maybe the chicken. Okay, let's look at this. This looks so good. I didn't actually even taste it. I should taste this. Just to make sure it doesn't need anything. Maybe it needs a little hit of lime or something. No, it's so good. Okay, I'm gonna plate that. So I'm gonna make sure that whoever's eating this is gonna get a nice pile of chicken, vegetables, and some sauce. And for this one, I'm gonna put a little bit of cilantro on it just to make it look pretty, and maybe a little lime wedge if somebody would like to sprinkle some lime on there. All right, there we go. That looks so beautiful. All right, there you have it, my pantry raid dinner, quick weeknight dinner. We've got our Thai coconut curry with chicken, and we have our rosemary white bean roasted pepper pasta.
Pairings are brought to you by Liquor Plus. Discover the plus.
We've got two completely different meals on the table, a Thai-inspired curry and Italian-inspired pasta. I'm very curious to know how we're gonna pair this. With us is Lyle Egan from Lighthouse Brewing Company. Thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah, thank you very much for having me.
So what have you brought for us to pair this meal?
Well, I thought first we'd talk about the curry that you created.
Okay,
and
absolutely.
A great beer to pair with the curry is going to be a Pilsner.
Okay.
Now the reason being is that with the Pilsner, it's like a palate scrubber.
Okay.
So when you get that heat on your tongue, you take a sip of the Pilsner, and then it starts to refresh your taste buds again.
Does it like cut the heat?
It cuts the heat.
Oh, so that's why you like to have beer with Thai food or Indian food.
Or Indian food, or any kind of hot food works really well.
Okay.
So again, it's about kind of cutting that heat and refreshing the palate so you're ready for your next bite.
Are we ready to try this out?
Let's go.
Here, well, wait. Cheers, cheers.
Of course.
Okay, so I'm gonna take a bite of the food. One of my favorite meals. Really good. Okay, let's see if you can top that or equal that. No pressure.
Yep.
With the pasta.
Yeah,
Maybe let's
definitely.
move these ones out of the way.
Okay, so the next one that I brought is going to be our Race Rocks Amber Ale.
Okay.
So why I chose it with this dish is when cooking it, there's a flavor in there with the rosemary that you can really match the intensity.
Okay.
So depending on how much rosemary you use in the dish, will work really well with this beer.
Oh, so would it matter, like if I had a small amount of rosemary, is it not gonna work well with the beer, or does it just kind of like flow for each amount of rosemary?
Yeah, you can have a little bit of fun with your cooking because as you cook, you can play with it a little bit. If you're a fan of the rosemary, then you can add a lot in. If you're not a fan of the rosemary, but you want it just a hint, then you just go nice and light.
And both styles would pair really well with that beer.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah,
oh, I like that. I like that we're into the flexitarian flexibility right now.
That's right.
Let's try
Cheers
this.
again.
Cheers again. I'm gonna try this by itself first, I think.
Okay. And the other part that I thought was kind of neat is...
This kind of tastes like chocolate.
Yeah, because you got the roasted malts, a little bit of the Maillard effect that goes into it, and with the beans, there's a little bit of an earthiness. So it matches really well.
It does? Okay, we're gonna try it.
Yeah, the beans in this beer work very nice.
It does. That's very good. I think I like this one even better. It's a little sweeter, you know?
Yep. Yep,
But
it's one of my favorites as well.
But yeah, but I can see how the Pilsner really paired well with the Thai curry. Is there anything else you need to tell me about? I see some awards sitting there, maybe?
Yeah, we've got a couple award-winning beers. So the Capitan won an award as recently as 2022.
Yeah.
We've got Race Rocks that won an award in 2019. Okay. So very well-respected beers in the community and very well known within in the Victoria and Vancouver Island area.
Thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Please share your take on these two speedy dishes from your pantry shop. Share your photo on social media at Chef Heidi Think and at CHEK Media. I'm Chef Heidi Think. The more you learn, the better it tastes. And I don't know if I want to eat the curry more or the pasta more.
Oh, they're both pretty good.
I know.
Well, can we eat them both?
Oh yeah, totally. Both for you. I think maybe the pasta is going to have some this here.
Okay.